This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Today is May 19th, and the current time is 5:08. We had a slight room change. Instead of being in the council chambers, we shifted over to room number 2 to be able to facilitate having this meeting being recorded. And so the first thing that I would like to say is I don't think we have any minutes to approve at this point, so that's not needed. But before we go into our agenda, is anyone here to speak to something that's not on our agenda for public speak? Okay. All right. We have 3 mayoral appointments to discuss tonight. The first one is Samantha Mader. And I know she's not here tonight, but I know this was a previous appointment that she had gone, resigned from, taken her application to resign that, and then came back into the position. So this is a candidate that we have discussed several times over, and if it's okay with everybody, I would like to make a motion to accept Samantha Mader into the position of Board of Health, and that's with a term expiration of December 31st, 2025. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And the second appointment that we have on the agenda tonight is for Maddie Palmer, who is being appointed to the Assistant City Clerk with a term expiration of April 1st, 2028. And Maddie is here tonight, so first I just wanted to welcome you to the appointment subcommittee meeting. And like I said, the reason that we're having you here today is to get a chance to know you a little bit more, have more of a transparency with the public about who you are and what brought you to this position, and really just introduce you to Easthampton. Okay, so I have a few questions to ask, but if anybody else wanted to ask any immediate questions, I wanted to give you the opportunity.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Maddie, my first question for you is just very basically, what brings you to Easthampton in this position as the assistant city clerk?
That's a fair question. So I am relatively new to the Pioneer Valley. I moved here about 2 years ago, but I've really only been in Massachusetts for about 5 years. I grew up in a really small town, even smaller than Easthampton, in Alabama. And so, once I made my way out to Massachusetts and made my way to Pioneer Valley, it really didn't take long for me to fall in love with Easthampton. I think I made the joke to Marianne in my interview that it is my favorite of the Hamptons. And there are more than one. There's more than one Hampton. I don't know. I immediately really fell in love with the vibe of the city. I think that, people are probably quick because of the proximity to Northampton to make strong comparisons, and not to say anything negative about Northampton, but I think there's something really special here. I really love the, way that people feel proud to be from here. I really love the art scene and just the cultural attention, the cultural chaos that's coming up. I don't know, those sorts of things really, I just in being here in these 2 years, I was like, this is such a special place. And it really reminded me a lot of my college town back in Alabama. It just, I don't know, it's, it's good food, it's good people, it's good things to do. It's just a special place. And so when I saw that there's an opening for the position, I don't think anybody in my family was surprised, because I've always said that I would probably find my way to municipal or city government somehow. I studied history and political science in my undergrad, and local government, public administration, those kinds of things always piques my interest. I always kind of saw myself as the policy wonk, or the, bureaucratic, I don't know, fangirl, honestly. I don't know. I just thought that, being an outsider and coming in, I thought there was something really special about Easthampton. In all my previous roles, I've really aimed to make my main goal service and just helping people in some capacity. And yeah, I think the city clerk's office is kind of like a nexus of the community, and do a lot to serve people of Easthampton, and yeah, I get to serve alongside Marianne, and I don't know, it's a special place, and I'm just excited to be able to meet people.
And I think one of the nice things too is that you're co-working with someone who has been in this role as well in your position.
Definitely.
So as Marianne is transitioning to the role of city clerk, it's both can kind of help each other with a little bit of these ropes.
It is. It's a unique dynamic, but I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. So, counselors, did any of you have any questions?
I just have a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
So nice to see you again, Maddie.
Yes, nice.
I'm just curious how you see this role in terms of fostering transparency and trust in local government. Like how you see this role being part of that.
It's a good question. I think right now, as it stands, people like to know what's going on behind the scenes, right? People like to know that when they walk in, that the person behind the desk is there to do their best to point them in the right direction. I think that I'm by nature, like I said, someone who really does just like to help people. And so I think, transparency and bringing that to the public is really just trying to, I suppose, do my best with all my knowledge, whether that's something I've gained from this role or previous roles, to really step up and be able to just go the extra mile. Miriam was talking the other day about the leadership conference you went to, and them talking about kind of being the last stop for like a problem that they're coming in with. So I don't know, I think when you build that relationship with people and they see that you really do want to help and you're not just brushing them off as though that's not my purview. I think when it comes to bigger issues where they feel like they are coming in and want to have a sense of like trust and that they're getting the full story, or that things are as transparent as possible. I think I just want to try to meet the role with the intention to help as much as possible so that people feel like they can trust, whatever Marianne and I are bringing to them, that information. Yeah.
So question I have for you. So it's been a couple of weeks now since you've been serving in this position. And, I know from talking to all sorts of city clerks and assistant city clerks that the process of learning the job takes a really long time. So in the last few weeks, can you give me an example of something that came up that you didn't know how to do? And, what was the process in figuring out how to make sure that it gets done? And maybe a little bit more of, what your learning style would be for the job and how you would seek out help to resolve the issues as they come up until, however many years it takes to really understand the totality of the city's municipal government.
It's fair. I feel like every day like somebody comes in and there's something that they need that I'm not incredibly familiar with. I guess in all reality, most aspects of this job, it's something new. I've never, had to have two people come in and they're ready to apply for their marriage license. That's never come up in any job before. But I think it's a good example because it's something that seems to be happening frequently because of the time of year. Lots of people are coming in, it's wedding season. But people I think come in and they have like quite a lot of questions about what, this process is going to look like. And inevitably it's, a form of paper, a sheet of paper that they and their, partner are filling out. but yeah, there were things that I wasn't aware of. For instance, like I had no idea that when you're filling out the intentions to marry, those access questions, like for the records that we ask to make sure that this person needs their record to be restricted in any way, that we're able to do that for them for their own like protection. But that's something that I never knew that happened with records, at least in the state of Mass. But yeah, I mean, Marianne is a fantastic teacher, and I think I'm definitely somebody who is a very hands-on kind of learner. I like to be the person in the driver's seat, so to speak, and actually, performing the action, because I think it just tends to stick better in my head, and I think it's also nice to have the experience of interacting with the person while they're literally right there, but also learning, so that, I don't know, sometimes I think it's nice for the public too to see that like this person is learning, they're here, they're invested, they probably are learning something at the same time I am.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, when I got married, Marianne did the paperwork with me, and I specifically remember those questions and being like, oh, that's something I never thought about.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even more specifically for same-sex relationships,
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.